Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Starkey Farmstead. Today we're going to talk about closed loop systems and how it's going to save our planet. All right, so let's get into this topic. What is a closed loop system? It's very simple. It's a system that starts with an input that begins to create outputs that are used back into the original input. Essentially, getting rid of any need to purchase outside outputs into your farm. So what am I talking about? You hear us talk about creating compost in our chicken coops quite a bit here at Starkey Farmstead. So what I do is I take all the waste from the quarter-acre market garden that I'm not going to sell, that might have pests or anything else, and I dump that into my chicken coop. All of the outputs created by these chickens, manure, feathers, eggshells, it's going to go back into their compost system. Now that looks like black dirt underneath their feet. It's not, guys. It's a high-end organic compost that's capturing carbon from the atmosphere, reducing our issue with that. Now this compost is then going to be used in that quarter-acre market garden to grow the vegetables that these guys will continue to eat. So you see what I'm talking about. You start with the chicken. What are all the things you can use a chicken for on your farm? You can use them for eggs, meat, to make compost, as pest deterrents, because they will eat the pest. I've talked to some people who are putting the small round pens around the exterior part of their garden to allow their chickens to roam. We're getting electric fence here so that when we're doing our cover crops, we can run our chickens through very specific sections of our no-till. As you can see behind me, nothing goes to waste here. Those are leaves, pine straw, hay that the rabbits didn't finish eating, manure, newspaper, and cardboard, covering up our clay soil so we can prep it for spring planting. So how do I fertilize a quarter-acre market garden with never purchasing outside fertilizers, pest deterrents, or growth stimulants? Very simple. Here at Starkey Farmstead, we have created sustainable loop systems all over this farm. One system is from a waste product of one thing, and it is used to create energy for another. So our rabbits eat 50% or better of their food from what we grow here. When they poop, I scoop that poop up, it comes back into this garden. That's not the only way I use our rabbits. I collect their urine as a pest deterrent and a nitrogen fertilizer. When we butcher them, we use their blood as a nitrogen fertilizer and a soil amendment, adding iron and other nutrients back to our soil, essentially creating very nutrient-dense food that I then take, feed to our dogs, feed to myself, feed to my customers, feed to the other animals on the property, and then I take all of their outputs, their manure, their blood, their urine, put it back into the garden to then create more food. Now, one of the cool things that we do here at Starkey Farmstead with rabbit manure is we have worm bins. So we go one step further. We convert the rabbit manure into worm castings using leaves, organic hay, and other waste products from the garden and the property to feed these worms, and they are composting worms. They eat it, they poop. Worm castings or worm poop is from plants for plants. It can be used as a pest deterrent, a fertilizer, a soil amendment. It'll even help you balance the pH in your soil. When you look at our worm bins, what you see is a lot of manure, newspaper. You see the worms? So these guys have one job here at Starkey Farmstead. We treat them like livestock. It is to take all of this and convert it to this. Now this is not dirt, guys. This is worm poop. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? No odor at all. There are so many ways that you can replicate this across your property, your farm, or your homestead. Depending on what type of livestock you have, that is what you have to decide. How can you use every bit of the waste of that animal? It's wasted feed, it's wasted hay, it's manure, it's blood, every bit of it. How can you gather the energy from that and put it into another system to feed a new system with energy sources? Guys, sustainable loop systems do a few things. They basically leave you with zero food waste on your farm. We never put food in a trash can, ever. There's always some animal on this farm that will eat it. On top of that, we have no manure waste here at Starkey Farmstead. It is all converted either into compost, worm castings, or put directly into the garden. So I hope that this helps you. I hope that you sit down with what you have on your farm, what you have available to you, what's in your hands, and you create ways to take an output and then put it back into your farm, essentially grabbing a hold to what was already an energy source, because we all know there never is waste. There should never be something that can't be processed or turned into another product. That is how we save our planet. We quit filling our landfills with food. There are things like hogs, chickens, they'll eat anything. Dogs, they can eat food that's rotten, that would kill you, and it will not bother them. They are not human. I know a lot of people think of their dogs as their children. Your dogs are here for a purpose. Allow them to do what God created them for. When God created the earth, He made it so that resources never ran out. If there was water on the earth 1,000 years ago, that same amount of water is technically still here. Now, is it polluted, salty, behind a dam? Yes, but it's still here. And there's where the problem is. We have a lot of corporations and people using resources, and then the products, the byproducts left over from those resources are toxic, are being dumped somewhere and not going back into rotation, creating a sustainable loop system. So now it's up to you and it's up to me to be the changes. We are to be the changes. We don't need a government or anybody else to tell us how to treat our land or our animals. Pull yourself out of their sustainable loop system. I shouldn't have even said sustainable. Take yourself out of their loop system. They've got you in a loop system of purchase, 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 purchase. They've got you in a mindset that you can't do it without their bagged feed, without their fertilizer, without their products. But you can. You can do it. You can create your own sustained loop systems. If you have rabbits, quail, chicken, goat, horse, cow, sheep, you don't need fertilizer ever for a garden. In fact, you probably don't need a lot of things you're using. Just have to get yourself into the mindset, guys. How can I use what I have in my hand now to create what I need down the road? You can do this. We're doing it here at Starkey Farmstead. We invite you to come out, take a tour, come take one of our classes, learn sustainable loop systems. It is so much easier to learn it when you see it in person. You guys have a blessed day. Get out there, get something planted in the ground. Go out there, do something with your hands so that God can bless the works of your hand. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment how you are using sustainable loop systems on your farm.